Hello, and welcome to a tip-tastic episode of We Only Look Thin. I am your Tip of the Week host, Catherine Weigel, and I have lost 150 pounds, and I'm going to give you a tip. The tip is, here's Donald Weigel.
Hey, it's Donald Weigel, your other host, and I have lost about 100 pounds, and this week it's Tipapalooza.
Tipapalooza to you!
Tipapalooza to you, darling!
We're not doing 3 segments, we're doing one segment, and it's all about the tips. Now, Donald, why are we able to offer tips in an episode?
Our warehouse staff contacted us and let us know that we are way overstocked on tips of the week. We have to make room for the 2020 models that are about to come in.
We are stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
Our prices are insane.
You know, some weight loss podcasts, they only give you one tip of the week. But
one tip, if that. If even one tip of the week.
Other podcasts, they only give one, but we're giving ours away at wholesale bargain basement prices today. We are giving you 6 tips.
Corporate does not want us to do this.
They don't want us to do it.
They're against it, but we care about you, the customer. And so we are blowing these tips out at rock bottom prices.
And how are we able to do it?
Volume! We're stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
We got tips left and right. We've got good tips. We've got bad tips. We've got big tips. We got little tips. We got tips all over the place. A tip for every person, every type of person. You're going to listen. You're going to hear lots of tips.
So we're selling them bad tips too?
I don't know. Some people are going to be like, that tip's not for me.
Yeah,
but
true.
You know what? You got 6 tips to choose from.
Yeah, so we've got a backlog of tips.
We actually do. I know we're snarky, but we have many tips.
Yeah, so we're doing an entire episode that is just tips of the week. Tip of the week to you,
Tip
darling.
of the week to you.
So no product of the week, no meaty middle in the sandwich this time. It's just 6 appetizers.
6 tips, and we're gonna stack them deep, sell them cheap, and we're gonna fire them off. Probably not rapid. You know us. We linger on a topic.
We are the competition. You will never find a better price than right now. You have to act now to get these tips at this price.
You do. So, should we dive right into the first tip?
Tip of the week to you.
Tip of the week to you.
You're going to get so tired, you the listener, of hearing us say that.
Yeah, getting it out of your system. Like in, what was it, Brewster's Millions, where the kid had to smoke like all the cigars, and he made himself so sick that he never wanted a cigar again. So, so many tips.
When the rich guy left Brewster his money, he made him spend a certain amount within 30 days, so he'd be tired of spending money.
Yeah, because that happens sometimes. But these tips, we're giving you 6. It's not too much. It's like the Goldilocks perfect amount of tips. Even though she only had 3 options, we're giving you 6 tip options. If you walk away today without a tip, we'll give you your money back.
Listen, you can use the coupon code WOLT to get 70% off one regularly priced tip of the week. And all the tips are on sale.
Bargains.
All right, so should we start off?
Sure. So we're gonna start off in the middle of the day. This tip is called the 3 o'clock slump.
Oh, so I've experienced the 3 o'clock slump.
There are many slumps. Some people experience the 3 o'clock slump at 2 o'clock. Depending on if you're a night owl or morning.
Is it still called the 3 o'clock slump if you experience it at 2 o'clock?
I think generically it
I
is.
experience my 3 o'clock slump at 9 a.m.
You're getting it done early.
I like, we talked about eat that frog, like get the difficult thing out of the way. I get my 3 o'clock slump out of the way at 9, and then I have a second 3 o'clock slump at 3, which I call the 6 o'clock slump.
And you didn't think multiple 3 o'clock slumps were your problem, but it turns out it is. That's why you got up to 250 pounds, because of all the slumps.
Turns out that I have nothing but slumps.
Meet the slumps.
Meet the slumps. I love that movie.
This podcast episode has hit its slump now. We don't even know. I just like saying slump.
Yeah.
Slump's a weird word. How do you even spell that? Yeah. So you know what the 3 o'clock slump is. That part of the day where you're fatigued, you're tired, you feel too overwhelmed, you no longer have the energy that you need to get your job done. So our tip, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Tip
of the week.
Tip. Tow.
Plan something fun for your 3 o'clock slump.
Whether it is, it's Sunday night and you've got a big week ahead and you're kind of tired and you feel like you can't do one more load of laundry, you can't meal prep, do something fun and chill.
Yeah.
Watch a fun video.
Yeah, something to look forward to on your Sunday afternoon. Something to look forward to during your weekdays in the afternoon. Like maybe you promise yourself a 20-minute, Facebook break. Right around when you have your 3 o'clock slump, which could be 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Or if you're...
I'm sorry, I can't stop doing
Let's name all the numbers of time.
Let's name
every single time and what slump it could
We're
be.
naming all the numbers of time.
How do we do it? Volume! But plan a banal activity. Don't have your, the client call that you have to make with the difficult news at the 3 o'clock slump. Organize your files at 3 o'clock.
That's so fun.
Play a game of solitaire. Play a game of Sudoku. Organize your pens from bluest to blackest.
Yeah.
Just do something that doesn't take a lot of energy.
That actually sounds like something I would enjoy.
Or even like if you have a client that you enjoy talking to or a colleague in another office, give them a call for a little chat at 3 o'clock instead of turning to snack. Go for a chat.
Step out. Ooh,
it doesn't actually rhyme.
Yeah, no,
snack
it's
and
good,
chat.
Though. But maybe there's a friend of yours that you can plan a 3 p.m. Don't go crazy and make it an hour-long call, but maybe your 3 o'clock slump, the two of you can just chat. You step outside your office and you chat for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, whatever you can reasonably do to take a break.
Go for a walk around the building. You could also send an email to a friend, a colleague, or a coworker and tell them you appreciate them for something that they've done recently.
So maybe you start to look forward to your 3 o'clock slump instead of dread it every day.
You bump the slump.
Bump the slump. I love it.
Or I've said it before, but go and have a delicious LaCroix with lots of delightful ice.
Man, I'd like to do that right now. Oh,
right?
I have one right here.
I know. Mine's in the kitchen and the door's closed, so I can't go in there. So
no,
I'm so
can't.
thirsty. But watch your favorite show. Organize your sock drawer. Do something that doesn't take a lot of brain power, but it passes the time, because a lot of times when we hit the slump, we want a little boost, a little bump, a little pick me up.
The point here is that in the past, I would always turn to food. I don't know if we even mentioned this part of it. I would always turn to food.
Everything turns to food.
Yeah. So instead of turning to food, you plan this fun thing. Food. I said that with a weird accent.
Food.
You plan something fun to avoid the food. I don't know if we mentioned that was the whole point of this.
Everything is about food.
It's all about food.
It goes without saying.
About maintaining and losing weight.
So bump the slump and do something easy and that passes the time, that you can look forward to the 3 o'clock instead of dreading the 3 o'clock slump.
And that is your first tip of the week.
Ciao!
Ciao, everybody.
Ciao, everyone.
So now we have tip of the week number 2. And I just want to let everyone know, if you can find a better deal on these tips, you should take it.
We'll match any tip that you get.
We will match any deal on these tips that you get. We'll coupon match. We'll take competitors' coupons.
We will. And there's no expiration date on these.
No.
We are, I just want to say, we are the only podcast that invokes the power of Purple Rain and Prince for your second tip of the week.
Tip of the week
Tip of the week to you.
Are you going to explain what that means?
I am. So I'm going back to Prince. I don't know if this is Purple Rain. I don't know what album this was off of. I don't know if it was a B-side. But the song Kiss by Prince. This tip is...
We probably should have researched what album it was on, but
it's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine. The tip of the week is act your age or your shoe size.
Oh.
It's from the song Kiss. Act your age, mama.
He says act your age, not your shoe size.
Yeah, but we're saying do either.
Yeah.
And now ask me how this has to do with weight loss.
Now, what does this have to do with weight
I'm
loss?
so glad you asked, Donald.
Oh.
This sounds so organic. This sounds like one of those infomercial things where they have the paid audience who sits there and claps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is very interesting information.
Should we do that? Should we have a paid audience that claps for us while we record podcasts?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I'm I'm paying everybody to listen to this episode.
I'm pretty sure that's a valuable use of our time and resources.
So Prince wants you to be quiet so I can tell them what the tip of the week is.
I'm sorry, Mr. Prince. I will be quiet.
No, Prince is cool with whatever you do, man.
Prince is dead, so he doesn't care what I do now.
Okay, so the power of Prince is this. Pick a number, your age, your shoe size, the day of the month that you were born, a magical number that you just enjoy.
Yeah, your favorite number.
Your favorite number, and use that as your anchoring number for your habits. So let's say that your shoe size is a 7. That is not. That was my shoe size when I was like 4 years old. Anyway, we won't talk about my
if you're like me and your shoe size is 22.
So pick a number. Let's say it's 7. 7 is a magical number to you. It's a prime number. Who doesn't love a prime number?
Man, who does not?
I actually love prime numbers.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them because they don't have any friends.
What a math nerd.
I am. So let's pick the number 7. So let's say anything you do, just invoke the number of 7. I am going to do 7 push-ups. I am going to do 7 flights of stairs. I'm going to take 7 sips of water. Yeah. I am going to sleep for 7 hours. I'm going to have 7 bites of a hoagie and then throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Use a number as your anchoring measure. I am going to work out for 7 minutes. I am going to, any increment of 7, I'm going to get 7,000 steps in a day. Donald, do you have any ideas for your shoe size or age?
Do you remember the old Schoolhouse Rock, 3 is a magic number? So make whatever this number is your magic number. Set it as your exercise minimum. If there are days you just don't feel like doing your exercise, pick your magic number and tell yourself, all right, I'm going to at least do 4, 3, 7, whatever it is. If you normally do 20 of something, just say, okay, I can't do 20 today. Pick the 7, pick the 3, pick the 5.
And let's throw out a fictional age. Say you're 44, like me. Maybe 4 is your number. So instead of invoking the 44, your age, just do 4. You know what? I'm going to do 4 push-ups. I'm going to drink 4 glasses of water. I'm going to go for a 4-minute walk. It's an easy way to just have an anchoring number that gets you to where you want to be.
Yeah, you don't have to think too hard about what it is you're going to do. You've got your magic number in place.
I actually had a friend who her grandmother would give them for their birthday, they would get the money of their age. So they would get, when she was 1, she got $1. And I remember she turned 25 and she's like, I'm getting $25 this year. So each year it's a different number, different anchoring point. So what number is important to you? Is it the number of toes you have? Which might be 9. I don't know how many toes 11. You have. I always count actually to see. I just double check.
Wow.
I don't know. I've got a lot of free time. That's what I do at my 3 o'clock slump. Yeah. Count my toes.
That's the fun activity you set for your 3 o'clock slump. Oh my gosh.
If you're still listening, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for hanging in there with us. And that is another tip of the week.
Oh, wait. No, that was Michael Jackson. I was trying to do Prince. What does Prince say?
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Thank you. He actually says that in the It was like he was.
right
Please don't
here.
Sue us, Estate of Prince. That would
Tao!
be nice. Tao!
Tip of the week to you.
Tao of the week to you.
I would just like to remind everyone to please run, don't walk to our showroom floor because these tips are going fast.
Well, should we have them in the parking lot? Should we have a parking lot sale so people don't have to run inside for the tips?
In the parking lot is one of those things that like flops in the wind.
Oh, we've got one of those.
Yeah, one of those
the floppy
things,
flap.
Floppy. I'm doing the motion, but it's a podcast, so you can't see. It's they're powered by a big fan, and they go
You can't afford not to get these tips. You're losing money if you're not getting tips right now.
If you're not getting these tips at these rock bottom prices, you certainly are.
We have given you 3 tips so far. It would take you 3 weeks to get as many tips.
We've given them 2 tips so far.
No, that's 2. We've given you 2 tips.
We're about to give them a 3rd.
All right,
let's get on with it. Tip number 3 is ask yourself if you're stuck in a rut.
You're rut stuck.
You're rut stuck. Are you rut stuck?
You know what? I actually am rut stuck. My maiden name, I'm not going to tell you what it is because then you'll use it against me when you steal my identity. But the first
What is it again?
No,
I know what it is.
The first 3 letters are RUT.
Yeah.
And my grandfather used to write RUT on everything he owned. He was in the Navy. He was a Navy man. Thank you for your service, Pop.
Yes, thank you.
But he had to put his initials on everything. So he put RUT on everything. And so we were all just stuck in a rut. I've been stuck in a rut my whole life.
So the tip of the week is
What is the tip of the week?
Take a Sharpie and write RUT on the food you were going to eat, and then it becomes inedible because it has Sharpie on it.
Okay, so Donald's actually going to give you the tip now.
No, the tip of the week is try and examine your automatic behaviors with a fresh eye. Are you stuck in a rut? Ask yourself.
Get it? Are you?
Are you? Wow.
Oh, are you?
Wow, I will get this tip out eventually, I swear.
No.
The idea is that you may be just doing things automatically and not thinking about it. Like, you've got Pizza Friday, for example, and every Friday you're just automatically, without thinking of it, you're eating pizza. Ask yourself, do you have to eat the pizza every Friday? Every time you go to a family gathering, do you have to eat Aunt Millie's ambrosia salad? Are you, is Christmas just not Christmas without X, Y, or Z food? It could be something as that's only once a year, like a holiday. It could be something that you're doing every day. Do you, does somebody bring in donuts every Thursday to work and you just have to have them because that's just what you do? Do you have to stop and get that bagel loaded with cream cheese every time you do X, Y, or Z thing? Really examine the automatic behaviors in your life and ask yourself, do I really have to do this every time? And if the answer is that you really can't live without it, then maybe you do. But perhaps you're doing things, that you don't actually have to do, that you're just ingesting these calories without even thinking about it because you're on autopilot.
Well, and two, it goes into every time I open the fridge, I grab a handful of whatever.
Yeah.
Or every time I'm making my kid something to eat, I grab a couple of chips on the side. Or,
I'm cooking dinner and I'm tasting and, doing bites, licks, and tastes as I'm, making my dinner for myself or for others.
Yeah. And those little things are like, eyeballing your peanut butter or eyeballing your half and half. All of those little tiny things that we just go, it's pretty close. Like, and if you add it up over time, it has a really big impact.
Like, my boss at work just pretty much automatically, every single time he walks into the kitchen, grabs a handful of peanut butter pretzels. And,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that hurts my heart.
Yeah. Our PAs at work just kept a like one of those vacuum sort of containers on the counter of peanut butter pretzels. And every single time he would go in there and I would see him all day long, just like he'd have like 4, but it was like all day.
Well,
grabbing 4 peanut butter filled pretzels just automatically.
I don't have a big issue with pretzels because they're more of a delivery service for other condiments.
But if you pair them with peanut butter or chocolate,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like, I shouldn't probably
fantasize.
Start fantasizing about food, but for some reason, like peanut butter or chocolate and pretzels, it's like the two of them alone, it's like you're adding 2 + 2 and getting 7. Like,
what a value!
So really examine your automatic behaviors and be cognizant of them and try and look at them with a fresh eye and ask yourself, am I just on autopilot? And try and be really mindful about these choices and figure out the things that you really can cut out and live without in your life.
Yeah. And two, with the analyzing your rut, anything you say like, well, it's just what I do. There's nothing I can change about it. You know what? You can be a person who is capable of change, and some things you can live without. Is it really necessary to have that stale roll on the side when you order out at a restaurant, or can you forgo it? There are so many things that we just do automatically that we grab, and it's not worth our time nor the calories. So get out of that rut. I'm never getting out of a rut because it's my name. That's the only rut I can't get out of.
And that's your third tip of the week.
Tip of the week. Tao.
And our fourth tip of the week is very much related to the third one. So I will skip all the hoopla and the balloons and the banners. And
Donald, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
How can you afford to give 4 tips in one episode? This is a month worth of tips in one episode. How do you do it?
Volume. I think we already said that, but
Stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
We certainly are. Tip number 4 is also about being more mindful, really, and it's to re-examine your portion sizes with a fresh eye. And this is something that I did recently. And it was sort of like I eat these vegetarian chicken fingers on a regular basis, and I would always just automatically make 8 of them. And I looked at it with a fresh eye recently, and I said to myself, you know what? I probably would be satisfied with 6 of them. And so I started making 6, and I saved myself about 90 calories in that meal, and I ate the 6, and I felt just as satisfied as if I ate 8 of them.
Well, and we do, even going back to the pretzels from the previous tip, we're mixing tips.
Yeah.
We're tip mixers.
We're tip mixing. It's sort of like... I was thinking more of like mix-ins at an ice cream place.
Oh, okay. Kind of a Cold Stone situation.
Yeah, I always go to food.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
But...
mixologist, like I'm mixing drinks.
If we actually got some pretzel peanut butter things for our daughter, and it says, 16 grams is 1 serving. If you take the Superman 3 thing and you're mixing things up with all the mixes, like you could make a baggie that ends up being 100 calories instead of the 140 calories. Guess what? Those pretzels do not go far. Those little handfuls of pretzels.
You might have to pull out a calculator and do a little math to figure it out, but...
Yeah. But, like, actually reducing your size, because Donald said that the other day to me. He's like, you don't have to have the full portion size. I'm like, I could have 4 of something instead of 5 of something, and it's fine. You don't have to pay attention. I actually split a single serving bag of Fritos the other day. I did.
Wow, that's impressive.
I wanted a little crunch on my salad. Took half a thing of Fritos, saved the rest for the next day.
Yeah.
That's not even another tip. That's just part of this tip. There are tips within tips.
And just sort of, we're combining these 2 tips a little bit again, or I'm about to, but that automatic behavior of like, every time I see a movie, I have to get a popcorn or I have to get a box of Bunch of Crunch. Like, you don't have to eat the entire popcorn, or you probably don't in order to be satisfied. You probably don't have to eat that whole box of Bunch of Crunch or whatever it is to be satisfied. You can pour half of it out, like before you even sit down in your seat. You get it. And
I've done that.
Like, examine your portion size and really ask yourself, like, what is the minimum amount of this I can eat and still be happy? And try and trend in that direction rather than just being on autopilot and grabbing what you always get.
Well, and 2, I think we've talked before about using smaller plates. You eat with your eyes and also with your mouth. You have 2 places to eat food. But going with getting, can you be satisfied with a tall drink at Starbucks instead of the grande or the venti? Getting your money's worth is not always the best value. Yeah. Telling yourself that the larger size, is going to save me money because it's a better value does not necessarily, put value on your body when you're ingesting the larger size. Well, and I've heard too the law of diminishing returns, which is what you're getting right now on this podcast.
What? This is an outrage. They're getting great value.
Because
value,
of
value.
overhead.
Low overhead. I love that.
I was trying to get you to say low overhead last time.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You went with volume.
Volume. Yeah.
But that idea of, going for the smaller size, going for half, not looking at the actual volume of food as the value, I think is a big deal.
Volume.
The only thing you should pump up is
the volume.
But not in this case. Go lower volume.
No. You pump up the volume with your cauliflower and your broccoli, not with
cream sauce. Cheesy sauce. So
and that is your 4th tip of the week.
Tip of the week to you.
Tip of the week to you, darling.
So now we're going to go into, this kind of ties in it all. Everything ties in. It's a circle of life, people. We're basically Lion Kinging this entire thing.
Tip number 5 is Lion King stuff.
I don't like
Hakuna
musicals.
Matata, everyone.
I just said I don't like musicals.
I know, and I just put that song in everyone's head.
I know. I always get mad when people start singing.
Yeah, I know. She got very mad at me. I saw the Lion King trailer the other day for the new live action movie, and I started singing that song, and she got really mad at me.
Would you stop with the singing of the song?
like we've been married a long time, and there's been lots of reasons for her to be mad at me. I'm not sure she's ever been angrier with me than for singing the song from the Lion King.
I don't know, people. I'm very complicated. So if you like musicals, I'm sorry about this. So the fifth tip is the endowment effect.
Endowment effect?
Endowment effect.
What
Rolls
is
off
that?
the tongue.
What the heck is that?
So Gretchen Rubin actually talked about this in an episode of Happier. The endowment effect is the value that we put on things that are given to us. Things do not, like if you go to a conference and you get a free foam finger that says our team is number one, and you take it home, you're like, it's free. I'm going to get a free, finger.
Oh, my goodness. My parents, if you're listening, parents, I apologize. But
wonderful parents.
My parents, it's like if they don't take a bag at a grocery store, they feel like they're getting ripped off.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've gone to a place and you've gotten the freebie, the free, really janky pen, or the thermos that doesn't actually hold liquid; it just spills.
Yeah, well, and I've been guilty of this in the past. I go to Comic-Con every year, and they'll give out these free things, and I'm like, free thing, I'll take it. And then I get home, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with a mask that looks like Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul? That literally
I was
going
to say you were just free loot shaming your parents, and every finger you point at your parents, there's one pointed back at you.
There's 4 pointed back at me for sure.
Free
but
loot.
We're talking about food now.
We're talking about food.
Now this I have a handle on.
So if the endowment effect is someone gives you something for free. Hey, I have an extra box of Girl Scout cookies, and now they're hot potatoed to you, and it's suddenly your problem. Hey, someone brings in free snacks to work because they had a Super Bowl party over the weekend, and now there's free snacks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I could have availed myself of a free lunch at work 5 days a week.
I have availed myself of a free lunch.
Fancy podcast. Oh.
Avail.
I'm the king of low prices. And I pass on that stuff because I realize that the true value is in eating within my calories, within my calorie deficit, and maintaining my weight loss. The value is not in getting, the free food. I could tell myself, well, it's free food. I can't possibly pass on that. Well,
and if we go back to the last portion size, number 4, if you go to the movies and they offer you, you're a valued member in the friendship club, so you get a free upsize on the popcorn.
Yeah, that's right. Pay for a medium, get the giant tub of popcorn.
We're going to supersize you because you are a valued customer, and you want that value. It's like, I'm a valued customer.
Oh, my goodness.
That was my trumpet sound.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Look, I played the trumpet for a lot of years.
No, that was Michael Jackson
I'm an
again.
authority on trumpet sounds.
On trumpet sounds.
And that was a good one.
That whole supersize, that, I used to get a croissant or two.
I was taking a drink of beverage and I almost just spit it all over the microphone.
A croissant.
A croissant.
A crescent roll at the donut shop in the morning. Do you know that they'd throw in a handful of donut holes for free?
Wow.
And I would eat them.
You can't not eat them.
I at one point thought we shouldn't ever move because I would get free donut holes at the donutery, which, you know what, didn't help me.
This is why we both used to weigh over 100 pounds more than we do now.
Why did I weigh 300 pounds? Yeah. Nobody knows. So watch out for those freebies, those extras, those, hey, I made you these things. The neighbor made you the food. Someone brought something into work. Someone's supersizing something. And we've said this before,
but you go to somebody's place and they push food on you to take it home. You can be polite. You can take the food and then you can throw it away.
Throw it away.
You do not have to feel like you have to eat it.
So don't put value into things that you get for free that do not serve your goals, because there have been people who have given me maybe exercise equipment that I don't want, or a free day at a gym.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not into that and you're not good at saying no to pushy gym folk, Don't
I have
do it.
to take that first art class because it's free.
It's free. Nothing free is free except for this podcast, which is free. They are getting their money's worth. How much, if you had to just, in today's numbers, how much value do you think people are getting out of this podcast?
$10 million.
10 million values?
yeah. If you adjust for inflation, $10 million.
You know what? I'm going to call you out on the endowment effect on something.
What? Right now?
Right now.
What? What did I do?
Well, speaking of getting things for free, we don't usually shop. We don't usually shop at this one grocery store, but the other day,
so frightened now.
We shopped at this one grocery store, and they had this like Monopoly scratch-off things, like little stickers that you get when you shop.
Oh, yeah.
And you have this like stack of Monopoly scratch-offs sitting next to like. And I'm like,
didn't I throw those away?
No, you didn't throw them away.
I really didn't
every
throw them
time
away?
I pass, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, what is he going to do with these free scratch-offs? Because we don't even shop at that store. And you're like, maybe I should mail them to our friends Mike and Tina, who always shop at that store, and they would love Monopoly books.
But it's Monopoly. You gotta keep your Monopoly piece. So, what if I go back there and I get the winning piece and I've already thrown away the other one? Then what?
I know that that's what you think, and I want to throw them out. And I see them, and it's just mental clutter.
All right, I promise that I will. As soon as this podcast is over, I will go throw them away.
Well,
because you're totally right. You're 100% right.
Look, and I know I do that, like the free things. Like
I can't wait till the next time I can shame you on this podcast.
What are those green? Oh God, I'll shame myself. I'll do it right now. I'm not afraid. I ordered a big coffee carafe for an event that I did in January, and it came with like, what's the green pack? There's like Splenda and stevia. Is stevia the green?
I think stevia is the green, but I'm not sure.
Anyway, I got this like packet of sweeteners and stuff to go along with the coffee.
If you know
thing.
which the green packets, please contact us. We only look
know.
thin at gmail.com.
First 5 will get 5 free tips. But like, I have them in our cupboard in a little container, and I'm like, maybe one day when we're not introverts, we'll have someone into our house.
Everyone thinks you're so perfect.
Well, but it's that like maybe someone will need a green packet of whatever that is.
I do that all the time.
And
I just had to clean out my office at work, and I used your voice in my head.
Did it sound like this?
Exactly like that. And I ruthlessly threw away things I've been carrying from TV show to TV show for literally years.
What did I say, and how did I sound?
You said, throw it out away. You haven't used it in a long time. You didn't sound like that.
You haven't used it in a long time.
That's how you sounded. That's exactly how you sounded. I made a rule for myself. If I hadn't used it for the entire season of the show, then I had to throw it away. That was the rule.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, and so
proud.
So I started working on the show in December, and it is June right now, and
you have not used 5 foam fingers that say you're number one.
So if there were things that I had the whole season just in case I needed them, I got rid of them.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
That makes up for the Monopoly coupons.
So that's a non-work, like non-weight related tip that I'm throwing in for free.
You know what?
Buy 6 weight related tips and get 1 non-weight related one for free.
Imagine that this podcast, you just bought a car. We're throwing in the floor mats. We're throwing in the floor mats.
That is unheard of.
It is I talked to my boss. They didn't want me to give you the free floor mats, but you're getting free floor mats. And the floor mats.
I like you. I feel like you and I have
I hate it when people say that.
I feel like you and I have really connected.
I actually just, like, if someone says that they like me, and maybe I'm broken. Yeah. If someone's like, I like you.
Maybe you're broken.
Maybe I'm broken. But if someone is like, I like you, I automatically think they're trying to sell me something, and I get really upset and defensive, and nothing that they say after that is good.
All right, I feel like we've gone completely off the rails. Let's give them our final tip.
Our final tip.
Tip of the week to you.
Tip of the week to you. We've taken a long and winding road. Like, think of all the tips that you've gotten. Let's just do a montage. That's the montage sound.
Maybe we should recap at the end.
Okay, we'll recap at the end.
We'll do the montage sound again.
But speaking of taking you on a trip,
this one has to do with Fraggle Rock, which, believe it
down
or not,
in Fraggle Rock.
even though I'm a nerd and watched all the things, I actually did not watch Fraggle Rock. So Catherine needs to tell us about Uncle Traveling Matt.
Uncle Traveling Matt. So I feel like telling you about the Doozers. I feel like telling you about Wimbley and Gobo and Red.
I don't know what any of those things mean.
It's all right. So the Fraggles were these little dudes.
They were basically
Muppets.
The Muppets, but they were like
Muppets.
an alternate reality Muppet.
Yeah, so
I know that much about Fraggle Rock.
So Fraggles live underground under.
There was no Kermit the Frog. There was no Gonzo. There was no. I'm just going to keep naming Muppets who weren't in it.
Okay, so the Fraggles live under this house. And one of the Fraggles, I believe it was Gobo, had an uncle who would go on wild adventures above ground. Like he'd go to like a park and he'd be like, the other day I was in this area. And he would act like he was on this big adventure. And
I've never seen Fraggle Rock, but that sounded exactly like Uncle Traveling Matt.
So Uncle Traveling Matt would go on adventures. And you know what? I'm going to make you all wait. Right now you're like, what the heck are they talking about? And what does this have to do with a tip of the week? You're even wondering.
I know the point, but I don't remember a time before this Fraggle Rock talk started.
Oh, I just have the Fraggle Rock song stuck in my head.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. But anyway, so Uncle Traveling Matt would start. Here it comes. It's about to happen. You're about to learn.
It is.
Donald
5, 4, 3.
The tip of the week is the Uncle Traveling Matt trick of always starting each adventure by turning left.
Yeah, from what I understand, he had a hard and fast rule that every time he would go on an adventure, he would start by turning left.
So this has to do with decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So many of us negotiate with ourselves about making choices in the moment. Should I upsize? Should I eat the chips at the party? Should I go for a walk at lunch? We make our future selves make a split-second decision on what our choices are going to be. And as we've talked about in the past, we don't make great decisions in the moment. We go for the easy way out. We supersize. We order the appetizer. We say yes to the bread basket. So the Uncle Traveling Matt tip of avoiding decision fatigue by deciding in advance what your choice is going to be. I never get a bread basket. Like if you just say, bread basket will not hit the table.
That is your hard and fast rule.
The hard and fast Uncle Traveling Matt turn left is I never get a bread basket.
I had to do this with my variable work hours. I had to set a hard and fast rule for myself that I would never eat anything that tasted like a treat or that I thought was going to be a treat until I knew I was within an hour of going to bed. Because if as far as I've come along this path, if I start eating treats early in the day, I cannot stop. And part of me feels like I should be able to control myself, but I know that I just can't, or at least that is how I've been in the past. And so I made a rule that I don't eat any. I only eat what I call real food up until I know I'm going to be going to bed in about an hour.
Right. So think about things, absolutes that you can set for yourself, of rules that you put in place to avoid that last minute fatigue. If something is on the second floor, I will always take the stairs. I will always take the first and farthest parking spot that I see.
Yeah.
I do not eat leftovers.
Yeah.
I do not bag leftovers.
Yeah.
I do not eat.
I don't take doggy bags home from restaurants.
Yeah. I never if I go to the grocery store, I never put groceries in the car with me that are at arm's length away with the chips strategically placed on top. I know that's a long tip, but, but I do not keep food in the car with me. It is always in the trunk. I never go through a drive-through. I go into a restaurant. I don't get a second helping. I stick with one helping.
And the point is, you set these hard and fast rules so that you don't have to make the decision. You don't have to decide in the moment, well, should I go ahead and eat that candy bar? Should I eat this other thing? the answer is always no. And so it makes it much easier for you to stick to your plan.
Yeah. Like if you go to a kid's birthday party, I do not eat chips out of a bowl. Like when I go to a party, I just don't do it. Because once you get that first taste, that like, I'm just going to have
Oh, yeah, that's me.
One chip is not a unit of measure, as we know. So having absolutes in place lets you let go of decision fatigue. It lets you have a rule in place that helps guide your choices, because in the moment, we're not going to make rational choices. So if we put those in place in advance, Uncle Traveling Matt will approve, and your future self will approve.
And I think that just about wraps up Tipapalooza.
Tipapalooza. Now, Donald, some people ask, how can you give 6 tips for the price of 1? And you know what we say? That is none of your concern. How we did this, how we got this done, how we stacked them deep, that's for us to figure out. You are the benefactor.
The point is, it's our biggest sale of the year, and time is running out.
It is running out because we're near the end.
We're about to wrap this up.
But we've got low overhead. That's how we were able to get this all done.
So let's just recap our tips real quick.
Okay.
We had the 3 o'clock slump, which was plan something fun.
Dump the slump.
Act your age or your shoe size.
Prince approves.
Pick a magic number that you stick to when you're trying to stick to your plan.
Yeah, don't get stuck in a rut.
That was number 3. Don't get stuck in a rut. Number 4. Re-examine your portion sizes with a fresh eye.
Number 5, the endowment effect.
Because somebody gives you something for free does not mean you have to eat it.
Nothing free is free.
And the final one was the Fraggle Rock Uncle Traveling Matt. Set hard and fast rules for yourself that you stick to.
Always turn left.
And that is your tips of the week.
Tip of the week to you, Tao!
Tao!
I was going to say that was all that was left of the episode.
Oh,
wah, wah.
Our prices are
Insane. We can't afford not to give you all of these for free.
If you got something out of this episode, and hopefully you did, please tell a friend, tell a relative, tell somebody who might also enjoy this, and tell them, you might want to listen.
We're the only podcast that talks about Fraggle Rock. Other podcasts, weight loss podcasts, they're afraid to talk about Fraggle Rock. They don't have what it takes to talk about Fraggle.
There is binge mode Fraggle Rock, though.
Binge mode Fraggle. Oh, I love those Fraggles. Actually, I'm more of a doozer. If you're a doozer and you know what a doozer is, you let me know.
This has been a doozy of an episode. I'll tell you that much.
The doozers are like the practical builders, and they don't like the Fraggles.
I didn't
They
ask.
like getting stuff
I don't remember asking for that information.
You're getting answers to questions you didn't ask.
So, but if you'd like to ask us questions, you can email us, weonlylookthin@gmail.com.
You can find us on Facebook and at Instagram at weonlylookthin.
And Twitter. We've stepped up our Twitter game a bit at weonlylookthin.
I tweeted about bananas the other day.
I saw
We are
that.
wild and crazy.
Oh my goodness, you're bananas. This whole system is bananas. And you can also subscribe wherever you found this podcast. It would also really help us out if you went to Apple Podcasts or iTunes and rate and review us. Just be a quick, these guys are amazing. You never have gotten such value out of a podcast.
We're Fraggalicious.
We're Fraggalicious.
Fraggletastic, Tiptastic.
This has been your Tipapalooza. So the next time you're trying to remember who has the best deals in the business, just remember that Catherine and I are an inspiration. Asian.
Down in Fraggle Rock.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.